So we'll begin in the opening Shavasana. Just allow the feet to come wide apart to the edge of your mat and gently lie the body back. Allowing the arms to come away from the body. Palms facing upwards. And we'll bring the eyes to close. Nice and gently here. Just allowing yourself to settle on your mat this morning. Letting go of your week. Allowing yourself to switch off from all your worries, all your stresses for the next hour. We'll use the breath to ground us on our mat this morning. So connecting into that diaphragm breathing. We'll place one hand on the belly and one hand on the chest. And on your next inhale, take a deep inhale into the bottom of the belly, feeling the belly expand, feeling the bottom hand rise. Exhale, release, feeling the stomach contract, feeling the bottom hand fall. Deeply inhaling, feeling the belly expand, feeling the bottom hand rise. Exhaling, feeling the stomach contract towards the spine as you empty the lungs. On your next inhale, we'll feel the belly expand again. And this time we'll allow the breath to rise up into the chest, the top hand. Exhaling, relaxing the chest, feeling the stomach contract as you completely empty the lungs. Inhaling, feeling the belly expand as the breath rises up into the chest, the top hand. Exhaling, relaxing your chest, feeling the stomach contract as you empty the lungs. Just continue with a few more cycles of diaphragm breath. Tuning into the body, keeping the legs extended. We'll reach the arms up over the head with an inhale. Keeping the arms over the head. We'll place both the hands to the top right hand side and both the feet to the bottom right hand side, so you're in a banana shape. Feeling a nice stretch along that left side body. Tuning into the breath. Back to center, and the hands and feet out to the other side. Feeling a stretch along the right side body and breathing deeply into that side body. Hands and feet back to center. And we'll hug the knees in towards the chest. Hug them nice and tightly. And just rock up and down on the spine and feel the spine release on your mat. Nice and gentle, feeling each vertebrae release, making the rocks slightly wider, and then gently rocking yourself to seated. And we'll come to cross-legged. Bring the eyes to close, joining the hands together. Taking a moment to set an intention for your practice this morning. Remembering throughout your practice, you can do no wrong. Bowing the head towards the hands, opening the eyes, namaste. To begin today's class, we'll warm up the shoulders. So palms of the hands and the tops of the shoulders. We'll make forward circular motions with the elbows. Gradually making the circles wider, synchronizing movement with breath. Other direction. Deep breaths. And exhale, release. Side bend. Left hand beside the left hip. Inhale, raise the right arm over the head. Inhaling to lengthen. Exhaling to fold. Keeping the chest open. Deep breaths. Breathing deeply into that side body. Exhale, release, drop the right hand down. Raise the left arm, inhaling to lengthen, exhaling to fold. Deep breaths, keeping the chest open, reaching out through the left arm. We'll become a bit more fluid with our movement here. Exhale, release, inhale, raise, lengthening, folding. Out to the other side, drop the hand down, raise the arm, exhale, fold. And final time, releasing the hand, raising the arm. Exhale, release. Inhale, raise, moving with the breath, and fold. Deep breaths, and release. We'll move into a twist. Right hand behind the back, left arm across the right knee. Inhale, extend the spine, lifting the chest. Exhaling to twist. On your inhales, extend the spine. On your exhales, twist a little bit further. Once you reach your end range, just tuning into the breath here. Inhaling back to center. Left hand behind the back, right arm across the left knee, inhaling, extending, exhaling, twisting. Out to the left. Inhale, extending, exhale, twisting. Turning the head to gaze over the left shoulder. Once you reach your end range, remaining nice and still and tuning into the breath. And gently back to center. We'll come to kneeling. So gently making your way to kneeling. We'll begin by shifting the left leg out to the side, toes facing forward. Get balanced here. Keeping that left foot engaged on your mat. We'll drop the right hand to the mat and raise the left arm over the head, spiraling your chest towards the ceiling. Keep that left foot engaged and reaching out through the left arm. Inhale, come up, left hand, left knee, raise the right arm. We'll move fluidly here. So it will be exhaling, releasing, inhaling, coming up to here, moving with the breath at your own pace. Exhale, release. Inhale, come up. Exhale, release. Inhale, come up. Exhale, release. Inhale, come up. And drop your hand down. We'll join the knees together. And we'll repeat that on the other side. So right leg out to the side, toes facing forward. Keep that right foot nice and engaged at all times. We'll drop the left hand to the mat and raise the right arm over the head. Deep breaths here. One side will feel completely different to the other. Inhaling, coming up, right hand, right knee, raise the left arm. Moving fluidly with the breath. Focus on the breath here. Exhale, release. Inhale, come up. Exhale, release. Inhale, come up. Exhale, release. And inhale, come up. Release the hand, join the knees together, and you can sweep the legs behind you. We'll come into tabletop. Palms of the hands at the front of your mat. Your knees are tracking under your hips. Just get nice and balanced here in tabletop. We'll warm up the spine with a cat-cow. So on an inhale, we're going to lift the spine towards the ceiling, rolling vertebrae by vertebrae. Round your upper back by pushing the floor away from you. Deep breaths into your upper back here. Exhale, drop your belly button, lift your tailbone, sending your chest towards the front of the room. Inhaling, spine up, rolling vertebrae by vertebrae. Rounding your upper back, pushing the floor away from you. Exhaling, dropping your belly button, lifting your tailbone, opening your chest. Gently coming back to a neutral spine. We'll move into a twist, keeping your left hand on your mat. We'll raise the right arm and twist out to the right. Exhale, release, slide the right arm behind the left wrist, drop the back of the right shoulder towards your mat. Deep breaths. Inhaling, twisting back out to the right. Exhale, release, slide the right arm behind the left wrist. Tuning into the breath. Inhaling, tabletop. Other side, keep your right hand on your mat, raise your left arm and twist out to the left. Exhale, release, slide the left arm behind the right wrist. Deep breaths. Inhaling, twisting back out to the left. Releasing, sliding the left arm behind the right wrist. Tuning into the breath. And back to tabletop. Get nice and balanced here in tabletop. We'll move into superhero pose. So extend the left leg out behind you. Right arm out in front. And then lift the left foot off the floor and point the left toes. Grounding down equally here into the left hand and the right knee. Deep breaths. Inhaling, right elbow, left knee. Extend, moving with the breath, knee to elbow, inhaling. Exhale, extend. Inhaling, knee to elbow. Exhale, extend. And release, drop the hand and knee back down. Other side, right leg out behind, left arm out in front. Lift the right foot off the floor and point the right toes. Extending equally between the left arm and the right leg, and grounding down equally between the right hand and the left knee. Inhaling, knee to elbow. Exhale, extend. Inhaling, knee to elbow. Exhale, extend. Inhaling, knee to elbow. Exhale, extend. Releasing, drop the hand and knee back down. Take a deep breath and we'll move into child's pose. So shift the knees wide apart, join the big toes, sit the hips towards the heels, reach the arms out ahead, and then sink your chest and forehead into your mat. Connecting to that diaphragm breathing here. Adding a bit more length with each breath. Gently back to tabletop. From tabletop, we'll sit the hips towards the heels and then lift the hips downward facing dog. Spreading your fingers on your mat here, nice and gentle with the body as we pedal the feet to release the calves and the hamstrings. Keeping the shoulders engaged, tuning into the breath. Inhaling, walk the feet towards the hands, taking baby steps. And once you reach the front of your mat, we'll take a bend into the knees and just allow the upper body to fold over the knees, grabbing opposite elbows with the hands. And just allowing the elbows to become heavy here. And inhaling, pressing into the feet, rolling through the spine, we'll come to standing. Since we're doing camel today, we'll get a nice back bend in. So from this standing position, we'll interlock the fingers behind the back. Again, focusing on sending the hips forward and down, rib cage upwards. This creates a nice opposition, which creates the back bend. So hips forward and down, towards the front of the room, lifting the rib cage. Deep breaths. Inhaling back to center. One more time. Interlocking the fingers, sending the hips forward and down, lifting the rib cage, feeling that opposition between pelvis and rib cage. Deep breaths. Exhale back to center. Okay, moving into our sun salutation. Standing up nice and tall. Connecting into the breath. Inhale, raise the arms, joining the palms, looking towards your thumbs. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release your hands to your mat. You can step or jump your feet back. Bending the elbows with an exhale, coming into chaturanga. Press up position. Inhaling, rolling over the toes, lifting the chest, upward dog. Exhale, lifting the hips, downward facing dog. 4 deep breaths here. Remaining strong in the shoulders. Feeling length in the spine. Tuning into the breath. Looking between your palms, inhaling, stepping both your feet forward to the front of your mat. Halfway lift, sending the chest forward in space. Exhale, fold. Inhale, raising the arms, looking towards the thumbs. Exhale, release. And we'll move into our standing asanas. So you can step the feet wide apart on your mat, feeling the grounding of both your feet beneath you. Relaxing the legs here, relaxing the body. Moving into side angle and then into warrior two. So turning the right foot out 90 degrees. We'll take a bend into that right knee. So the ankle and knee is in line. Right forearm, right knee, raising the left arm over the head. Keeping that left foot engaged and reaching out through the left arm. Deep breaths. Feeling length in that left side body. Keeping a bend into that right knee, we're going to use that left hand to guide us up, raising the arms to shoulder level. Then turning the head, focusing the gaze over the right middle finger. Tuning into the breath. Focusing in on the breath, remaining nice and still. Exhale, right forearm, right knee, raise the left arm, back into side angle. And tuning into the breath. Inhaling, coming back into warrior, keeping a bend into the right knee, raising the arms to shoulder level, turning the head to gaze towards the right middle finger. Reaching out through both arms equally, feeling the grounding of both your feet. And inhale, come up, turn your foot in. Turning the left foot out, 90 degrees. We'll take a bend into that left knee. Left forearm, left knee, raise the right arm. Keeping the chest open towards the ceiling. Finding your stillness here and tuning into the breath. Inhaling, keeping a bend into that left knee, using the right hand to guide you up, raising the arms to shoulder level. We'll turn the head to gaze towards the left middle finger. Reaching out through both arms equally, keeping the gaze focused and tuning into the breath. Exhale, left forearm, left knee, raise the right arm, keeping the chest open. Deep breaths. Inhaling, raising the arms to shoulder level, coming back into warrior, turning the gaze to focus over the left middle finger. Deep breaths. Inhale, come up, turning the foot in. And we'll join the feet together. Coming into tree pose. So grounding down into the right leg, we'll turn the left foot out. Rounding down into the right foot, we'll begin to lift that left foot off the floor. Now, if you're here, that's completely okay. If you can get the foot above the knee, place the foot towards the inner side of the right thigh. Whatever position allows you to remain still and focus in on the breath, feeling a nice sense of balance. Deep breaths here. Keeping the gaze focused, remaining nice and tall. Exhale, release, close the hip, extend the leg. Okay, repeating on the other side. We'll ground down into the left leg and turn the right foot out. Join the hands together, and then we'll begin to lift that foot off the floor. You can stay here with the foot pressed in against kind of the inner side of the shin, or you can lift it higher, placing it as high up the left leg as possible, pressing the foot against the inner side of the thigh, joining the hands together. Keeping that foot nice and active, pressing in against the inner side of the leg. Tuning into the breath. And exhale, release, closing the hip, extending the leg. And we'll make our way to standing at the front of our mat as we move into Utkatasana, chair pose. Standing up nice and tall. Inhaling, bending into the knees, raising the arms above the head. Pressing the knees together, tuning into the breath. Deep breaths here. Exhale, fold forward over the knees. Releasing your hands to your mat. We'll step or jump the feet back into plank. And once we're in plank, we'll walk the feet forward and lift the hips, downward dog. Deep breaths. Inhaling, we'll raise the right leg out behind us, three-legged dog. We'll take a bend into that right knee. And we're going to move the hips out to the side, twisting so the knee is facing the side, opening out the hip. Bring the knee back to center. We'll shift the weight forward into our shoulders, drawing the right knee towards the nose. And then gently step that foot between the palms. Coming into our runner's lunge here, framing the right foot with the hands, getting nice and balanced here. From here, we're going to gently lift the belly and the chest away from the right thigh, coming into warrior one, joining the hands together, or reaching the arms up over the head. Whichever version you prefer today. Keeping that left leg engaged behind you, tuning into the breath. From here, we're going to move into warrior three. So lifting that left leg out behind us, sending the chest and the belly forward, keeping the hands at heart center. Deep breaths. And gently releasing that left foot to your mat. We'll frame the right foot with the hands. Set the right foot to meet the left foot, lifting the hips, downward dog. Deep breaths. Inhaling, raising the left leg out behind you, three-legged dog. We'll take a bend into that left knee and open the left hip out to the side. Bringing the knee back to center, the hips back to square. We'll shift the weight forward into our shoulders, drawing the left knee towards the nose. And gently step the left foot between the palms. Coming into our runner's lunge here. Keeping that right leg engaged, finding your balance. And then gently lifting the belly away from the left thigh, lifting the chest. Joining the hands together or reaching the arms up over the head. Deep breaths here. Coming into warrior three, gently shifting the weight forwards and lifting that right leg out behind us. It's completely normal to wobble. Just find your balance and focusing on the breath. And release, slowly dropping the right foot down. Frame your left foot with your hands. And we'll make our way to child's pose, dropping your knees to your mat. Shift your knees wide apart. Reach the arms out ahead and sink your chest and forehead into your mat. We'll take 5 deep breaths here, tuning into your diaphragm breath again, adding some length to the breath. Gently, you can come to tabletop. And then you can come to lying down on the bellies. We're just going to do a few preparation poses for camel, just opening up the back. So first one is cobra. We're going to place the hands flat on our mats beside our chest. We'll keep the legs engaged behind us here, keeping the tops of the feet pressed into the mat. Now on an inhale, we're going to keep a bend into the elbows, drawing the elbows close in towards the body. On an inhale, we're going to press into the hands and peel the chest off the floor. Feeling a nice opening to the chest here, rolling the shoulders away from the ears, back and down the spine. And tune into your breath here. Exhale, release, drop the chest down, take a deep breath. You can place your left cheek on your mat and just take a couple of deep breaths here. We'll repeat that one more time. So placing the hands flat on the mat beside the chest. We'll draw the elbows tight in towards the body. And before we lift the chest, just roll the shoulders back and down. So you feel a nice opening to the chest before we lift it. And then lifting from the center of the chest, we'll peel the chest off the mat. Getting a nice opening to the chest. Keeping a bend into the elbows, drawing them close in towards the body. Deep breaths. Exhale, release. Dropping your right cheek to your mat. Take 3 deep breaths. You can now roll onto your backs. We're going to move into bridge pose. So lying down flat. Bending the knees, drawing the heels in towards the sit bones. Placing your hands flat on your mat beside your hips. Keeping the knees drawn together. We're going to take an inhale and press into the feet we'll lift the hips towards the ceiling. Now, once the hips are lifted, you can lift the chest, feeling your spine lift off your mat. Once the chest is lifted, you can tuck the shoulder blades under the body, interlock the fingers, and press the hands towards the heels. Focusing in on the breath here. And exhale, release, drop your hips back down. We'll repeat that one more time. So pressing into the feet, lifting the hips towards the ceiling. Once the hips are lifted, you can begin to lift the chest, tucking the shoulder blades under the body, interlocking the fingers. Deep breaths here. And exhale, release, drop the hips back down. Take a deep breath. And you can make your way to kneeling on your mat as we move into camel pose. So again, this is not about dropping back and into the position and kind of compromising the posture. Form is really important here, getting that opposition between pelvis and rib cage. So pelvis, sending the pelvis forward and down, forward towards the front of the room and down. And then lifting the rib cage and feeling that opposition between the two. I'm just going to stay here for 5 breaths, just to kind of warm up before coming into the full posture. Just really try and focus in on the breath. Hips forward and down, lifting the rib cage. And then we'll come into child's pose for 5 deep breaths. Coming back to kneeling, we'll come back into camel pose. So this time, once you kind of reach your end range, you can allow the arms to hang down. And if you like, you can place one hand on one heel and the left hand on the left heel. But the preparation is really important here. So we don't want to compromise that movement, the opposition of pelvis and rib cage. So pelvis forward and down. Rib cage rises. If you like, you can drop the hands back. Tuning into the breath. After 5 breaths, we'll come into child's pose. Five deep breaths. Connecting into that diaphragm breathing. And you can gently come up. We'll move into our headstand. So again, we'll come into tabletop first here. And we'll drop the forearms to the mat, interlocking the fingers. From here, we're going to place the crown of the head where the hair grows into the palms of the hands, which means the top of our head is resting on our mat. From here, pressing into the feet, we're going to lift the hips as we do in downward dog. Now, just try and shift the weight here between the elbows, between the head, get nice and comfortable, and then lift the hips, walking the feet towards the head. Once you reach your end range, tuning into the breath. Once you've done 5 breaths, if you like, you can bend one knee, lift it towards the ceiling, drop it down, bend the other knee, lift it towards the ceiling. And just repeat this for a few rounds. Once you've done a few on each side, you can just come into child's pose. And take 5 deep breaths. And we'll come into headstand one more time. So just if you want to just come into, we'll firstly drop the forearms to the mat, interlocking the fingers, pressing the crown of the head into the hands, and then we'll lift the hips. Now, if you just want to stay here, walking the feet in towards the head, you can just stay here for 5 breaths. If you like, you can lift one leg and lift the other leg. If you like, you can try and lift both feet. Whichever version you're in, just focusing in on the breath. And after 5 breaths, we'll come into child's pose. Remembering it's just a bit of fun. And we'll take 5 breaths in child's pose. And you can gently just come to a cross-legged position. We'll just move into the final posture of today's class, which is Padmasana, which is just a simple cross-legged position. Sitting up nice and tall, feeling the sit bones ground into your mat. You can rest your hands on your knees. You can grab a mudra if you like, which is placing the joining the thumb and the index finger. Joining the other 3 fingers together. And tuning into the breath here. We'll take 5 deep breaths. Keeping that connection between thumb and index finger. Diaphragm breathing. And you can release and we'll gently come into the closing Shavasana. So you can bring the feet wide apart to the edge of your mat and gently lie the body back. Drawing the arms away from the body, palms are facing upwards. We'll bring the eyes to close. You can grab a blanket, a cushion, light a candle, whatever makes you feel comfortable and allows you to completely switch off for the next 10 minutes. Really giving yourself permission now to switch off from any worries, any stresses. Allowing the body and the mind, the soul to absorb all the benefits of your practice this morning. Beginning our body scan, tuning into the feet. As we move our way up through the body today, we'll try and smile with each body part. Remembering there's usually a body part that we tend to resist. When I bring your attention to that body part, showing a little bit more love for that body part. Showing love for the flaws and imperfection. Smiling with the toes. Smiling with the soles of your feet. Smiling with your heels. Smiling with your ankles. Calves. Backs of your knees. Hamstrings. Smiling with your hips. Bring your attention to your hand, smiling with each of the fingers, smiling with the thumbs, smiling with the palms of your hands, wrists, forearms, elbows, upper arms, smiling with your shoulders. Bring your attention to the base of your spine and we'll begin to relax, smiling with each vertebrae. Individually, smiling with each vertebrae as you work your way up through your spine. Relaxing the neck. Relax the back of your head, allowing it to sink into your mat. Bring your attention to your face. We hold a lot of our tension in our face, so just bring your attention to perhaps any area of tension. We'll take a deep inhale into that area of tension. And exhale, release. Allowing the tension to leave the body. Smiling with the jaw. Smiling with the tongue. Smiling with the lips. The cheeks. Smiling with the space around your eyes. And we'll begin to settle the eyes. Softening the eyelid. And allowing the eyes to sink into the back of your head. Relaxing the space between your eyebrows. Softening the forehead. Relaxing the crown of your head. Smiling with your entire body. From the soles of your feet to the tips of your fingers to the crown of your head. Joyful, energetic body. We will now move into silence for the next few minutes. During this silence, we'll tune into the breath. Naturally, you'll become distracted. Just become aware of the distraction and without judgment of your thoughts, feelings, or emotions, bring your attention back to your breath. begin to bring your attention back to your body, just making any movements you'd like to wake up the body this morning. We'll reach the arms up over the head and get a full body stretch. And release, bending the knees, rolling over to the right hand side, making a cushion with the hand, taking a couple of nice releasing breaths, sighing with the exhale out through the mouth. And we'll gently come to seated at cross-legged position, drawing the hands together. Thank you for joining me and sharing your energy with me this morning. And taking a moment to turn that thanks inwards and thanking yourself for showing up. As we rub the hands together, creating heat, creating energy, placing the palms of the hands over the eyes and blinking the eyes open to the darkness of the palms, drawing the hands away from the eyes to the light. Namaste. Thank you very much.